Welcome everyone to my ultimate guide for the Kortz Center heist in GTA Online. Now this video is going to cover everything surrounding this heist, ranging from the scoping of the Kortz Center to which preps you need to do and the best strats to complete the finale, making the overall gameplay loop as quick and as easy as possible. This heist update is definitely one of the most controversial we have seen in GTA Online, but there is no denying that with the weekly bonus system this heist relies on, you can earn a lot of money in a little amount of time, making this heist one of the most lucrative money-making methods we have in this game. Now, of course, there is always the option to keep the artwork, with some of these paintings looking very good within the mansions, but that is entirely up to you whether you really care about that or not. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future uploads. If you want to see more GTA Online guides from me, and of course GTA 6 guides in the future as well, then let me know down in the comments. But with all that out of the way, we are going to kick this off with the scoping of the Kortz Center. First off, if you are wondering which mansion is the best to own for running the Kortz Center heist, the Richmond Villa is the closest to the Kortz Center, so this is the one I'd recommend buying. If you have disposable income, I do recommend owning the Vinewood Residence on top of this, and the reason is for some of the prep missions, the Vinewood Residence is going to be the closer mansion, and if you deliver heist prep equipment to one of the mansions, you get it across all of them. So if you have an extra 20 mil lying around, then I'd recommend buying the Vinewood Residence as well. But if you're only buying one, like most people, the Richmond Villa is the best one to go for. So when you complete this mission for the first time, you'll have a set of instructions from Raf that are mandatory to completing this mission, and everything that we're going to discuss after this is optional. So if you want to, you can just go ahead, follow the instructions, it's very straightforward, and leave. However, I recommend doing everything that I'm about to tell you at least once, so you have all of the optional preps available for you. So once again, go ahead and follow all the instructions all the way up until the staff keycard if you want, but we're going to start off with inside the Kortz Center itself, inside the Bell building. Now, there are a set number of things inside that you'll want to photograph. There is this basement door just down the stairs on the left. There is the alarm system behind the desk, and there are the secondary targets and the buyer's request items as well. Now, these two things, it's entirely up to you whether you want to photograph the secondary targets and the buyer's request items or not. Me personally, every time I go into this heist, I just grab two paintings off the wall inside the art gallery and ignore the buyer's request. If you want to complete the elite challenge of scoping all the secondary targets, you need to do this at least once on one of these preps. If you want to do the elite challenge, you'll need to get the buyer's request. So you'll need to make sure that you find all of the secondary targets with, I think it's like a gold dollar icon and some other, it's a different icon, you'll notice it. There are typically 3 buyer's request items, but I think if it's 2 paintings, it's only 2, because obviously you can only carry 2. Once again, that is for the elite challenge and for the career challenges as well. If you don't want to do them, you just want to run this heist and get some money, what I recommend doing is just ignoring this. So that covers the inside of the Bell building. You're now going to want to move outside, and you are going to want to photograph the skylight, the maze, the security tunnel, and these are your different approaches. The power box and the radio tower will give you additional optional preps that you can complete. Once again, all of these things are completely optional. You don't need to do these, but once again, I would recommend doing it at least once, just so you have all of these preps available. Once you've done these once, you don't need to do it again. Now, there is one thing that I do want to talk about separate from everything else within the scope mission, and that is the manhole key and the blueprints for the sewer entrance. Now, unfortunately, you need to grab these every single time you run the Kortz Center heist from the scope mission. We'll talk about my thoughts and opinions on that later, but I'll show you on screen all of the possible locations for the blueprints and the manhole key. You'll need to pick up the manhole key and take a picture of the blueprints and send them to Raf. But that is the scoping of the Kortz Center complete. Once again, apart from the manhole key and the blueprints, once you've photographed everything, that is that mission done. You can never do it again and just focus on the preps. Now we're going to talk about these prep missions. So these are comprised of the mandatory missions and the optional missions as well. You can do however many optional ones you want, but the mandatory ones are, well, mandatory. But what you need to do is choose at least one entry method. You need to choose at least one weapon loadout. You need to choose at least one exit vehicle, and then the access code and the hacking device. And the optional preps involve the guard routes, the guard shipments, the glass cutter, the power drills, and the EMP. Now, for me personally, always do the guard routes because it's very vital to know where the guards are so you can not get caught. The guard shipments is something that is optional. If you want to make this heist a little bit easier, I recommend doing these. However, you can get away without doing them, making the overall gameplay loop for completing a Kortz heist a bit quicker. Now, the glass cutter, the power drills, and the EMP, I think are a complete waste of time. The glass cutter is only for if you want to get the buyer's request. If you want to get the buyer's request, then you need to get the glass cutter. The power drills are for the lockboxes within the vault, don't even bother. And the EMP is just so you can get a blackout like the casino heist on your way out. If you want to get this, you can. I don't really see the point. I do want to quickly talk about how the payout for the Kortz Center heist works, just in case you are unaware. So this heist works off of a weekly bonus scheme. So every single time we have a new event week in GTA Online, the first time completion for the event week will kick in. And for the Kortz Center heist specifically, this is a 4 times bonus. So without the bonus, this is around about $300,000 to $400,000, depending on easy mode or hard mode, respectively. That is for the primary target. And with the 4 times first completion bonus for the week in place, this goes up to around about 1.2 to 1.3-ish mil, once again depending on hard mode and also which painting you get. I would like to add on as well, for completing the preps for this heist as quickly as possible, I highly recommend owning an Oppressor Mark II, which is contained within a terabyte, and that is contained within a nightclub or a garment factory. Or you can own the Sparrow, which is contained inside a Kasatka. The Sparrow is the cheaper option, but the Oppressor Mark II is better, so you can choose which one you like. But honestly, owning at least one of these vehicles makes the gameplay loop for completing the prep missions so much quicker and so much easier. You access these vehicles via the interaction menu under Service Vehicles. You can spawn them right in front of you, and it just makes the whole gameplay loop so much quicker. So now we're going to talk about each of the prep missions individually. So first we'll talk about the entry method. So we have 4 options here. We have the hazmat suit, which involves the manhole key and the blueprints. We have the tactical gear, which involves entering through the skylight. We have the alpha male disguise, which involves going through the security tunnel. And we have the staff keycard, which involves going through the side door. Once again, if you want to complete the sewer entrance with the hazmat suit, you have to scope out the Kortz Center heist again and grab the manhole key. And you don't need the blueprints technically, but if you want to make it a bit easier and quicker for yourself, you can. I personally don't bother. But in my opinion, this rules out the hazmat suit as an entry. I mean, it's just too much work to go through and scope the mission and go through the 5 possible locations for a manhole key. I would rather just do the other entries. So in my opinion, this one is null and void. I wouldn't even bother. The tactical gear involves dropping through the skylight. I like this approach a lot because you get dropped straight into the art gallery, which means you can grab your secondary target straight away, and it disables the main camera that sort of sweeps the entire room. Both of these, I think, are very big benefits to the tactical gear entrance. If you did get the EMP prep as well, this gives you night vision, which is handy. Again, I wouldn't really bother with the EMP, so this is kind of useless, but if you really want to, you can do that. The alpha male disguise involves going through the security tunnel and driving into the loading bay. Now, this is a very good entry because this gets you essentially right outside the vault as soon as you drive in. And on top of this, you can get the extra secondary target, which is exclusive to this entrance, which is worth 120k and only takes up about 1/5 of your bag, which is very good value. However, my main problem with this is that it's the same value as a painting on the art gallery floor, and it means that you can't grab a second painting because each painting takes up half of your bag. So you can still only grab 1 painting alongside this. So it's kind of a waste of time getting it, unless you're going to grab extra stuff from the display cases, which you can do. But I personally wouldn't bother with this. I mean, you can grab this and a painting because you're here, you might as well. But in my opinion, I would just always grab 2 paintings. And the final entry method is the staff keycard. Now, this one is interesting because you can use this one in conjunction with any of the other entry disguises. Think of it as similar to the Diamond Casino heist, where you have the staff keycard is a separate optional prep, and you have your entry disguise / method. That's kind of how this one works, but if you want to, you can just use the staff keycard. But what I like to do is use the staff keycard in conjunction with another one of these entry disguises. What that means is you can go through certain doors without having to hack it. This is more useful if you're using the tactical gear approach, because to get down into the basement, you'll need to hack the keypad, so it's a bit easier to just grab the keycard. However, this doesn't remove the hacking for the elevator. You'll still have to do that. So you can weigh up whether it's really beneficial to grab the staff keycard or not. You could always just shoot the camera, hack the keypad, try and be quick about it. But you can use the staff keycard in conjunction with another one of these disguises, which is helpful to know. My personal favorite entry is either the tactical gear or the alpha male. I'm still not deciding on which one's the best, but in my opinion, the hazmat suit I just wouldn't even bother with. It's too much effort to go through and scope the Kortz center again and grab the manhole key and then go through all the sewers. It's just long. The tactical gear, once again, it's nice to be dropped into the art gallery. Just grab your 2 paintings, go down, grab the painting in the vault, and then just leave. But you will have to hack the keypad to get into the room with the elevator, unless you grab the keycard. I will say about the keycard as well, this gives you another exit, which is actually just the staff entrance that you go into. If you don't have the keycard, you'll have to use an explosive on this, or grab the key from one of the guards on the art gallery floor. So if you don't have the keycard, you can just grab a set of keys, and to be honest, actually, you'll want to do that anyway. So, I mean, it gives you an option to leave through the door, but I wouldn't bother at the same time. If I had to choose, I'd choose the alpha male disguise, because you get dropped straight into the loading bay, which puts you right to the vault, and then you can leave the vault, go up the stairs, you can walk straight through the door. You don't need the key card, you don't need to hack, because it's on the stairs side. And then you can just grab 2 paintings off the art floor, kill a guard, get the keys, and escape the way I'm going to show you later. I think that's the best method so far, so go with the alpha. That's a lot of waffle. Go for the alpha male disguise. The weapon loadout I would choose will always be the street loadout, and there is one very good reason for this. If you own the armory within a mansion, then with the street loadout, you get the pump shotgun Mark II with a suppressor on, with with special rounds in them. And essentially what this means is that you can use this shotgun to one-shot the guards without doing the guard shipments prep mission. So you can one-shot them through the armor, and obviously this is overpowered. The only downside to getting this loadout specifically is that you don't have the stun gun to take down cameras. So if you're somebody who's a little lesser experienced in GTA Online, or just the Kortz Center heist in general, then I would recommend doing the guard shipments mission and doing the security loadout, just so you have the stun gun to sort of aid you through it. But once you get a bit more experience, you get a bit more confident in the heist, I highly recommend doing the street loadout with the mansion armory installed and not doing the guard shipment prep as well, because once again, the ability to one-shot the guards through the armor with a suppressed shotgun is overpowered. The Exfil vehicle I'll always choose as well is the Manches. Once again, I'm going to show you the strategy for these later on, but the spawn is consistent, unlike the Diamond Casino heist, but that means you can stick to the one exit strategy and it will work every time. The Annihilator stealth, the NPC is too much of an idiot to even bother with this, and the armored Karakara is more of an aggressive exit strategy, so I just wouldn't bother with that. The equipment, the access code, and the hacking device you need, so there's no point talking about them. Once again, the optional preps, the guard routes, I think is mandatory. I would always do this. Guard shipments, you can learn to do it without if you want to, but it does make it a bit easier if you do it. And once again, the other preps, I wouldn't bother. Waste of time. The prep missions themselves are very, very easy, to be honest. They all consist of go to this location, kill these guys, blow this up, grab this device, get back to the mansion. So that pretty much covers it for the prep missions of the Kortz Center heist. Very straightforward. I think if I was to optimize a run, I could probably get these done in like half an hour, 40 minutes, maybe. But they're all very straightforward. There's none that really give me any difficulty. I don't think they will you either. So yeah, that about covers it for the preps. We're going to move on to the finale mission itself for the Kortz Center heist. If you own the Vigilante, this makes the driving part of the heist very easy. You're just going to want to follow the path that I do, use the boost, and you'll basically land at the Kortz Center. If you're doing the sewer approach, you'll want to drive around the road and go to the parking area just here. But if you're doing pretty much any other entry, you'll want to go up to the left, park alongside this wall, and then jump over it and go from there. Now, if you've followed my advice and gone for the Manches escape, the Exfil method is going to be the same almost every single time, regardless of what approach you use. However, what changes is the infiltration method. So we're going to go through each and every single one, and you guys can decide which one you prefer, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion on which one is the best. So the first one is the sewers approach. Now, once again, I assume you've gone through the scoping mission and got the manhole key. You might have got the blueprints, you might not have, it doesn't really matter. Just follow the route that I go through here to the parking area, run around the maze and jump over the maze where I do in the video, get into the manhole and figure out the way. I mean, if you've got the blueprints, Raph will tell you which tunnels are open. I like to just brute force it and just figure it out. And then you'll get into the Kortz Center building, and then you just take the disguise off, kill all the guards, hack the keypad, I disable the cameras, and then enter the access code into the computer. This part is going to be the same throughout every single infiltration method. It doesn't really matter. Once you're in this area, you want to kill pretty much everyone that I do in the video. You want to get to the CCTV console, disable the cameras just to make life a bit easier, enter the access code, enter the vault. The thing is, you don't need to worry about killing people in front of cameras when they are disabled, because once you enter the vault, everything is reset. So as long as you can get into the vault before the cameras disable, then it doesn't really matter. Next up, we're going to talk about the tactical gear skylight approach. So once again, boost the vigilante or just drive there, get to this bit of the road, and then drive up to the wall here, and you can do this little jump. Wait for the guard to be on this side, shoot him, and then go up the stairs. Shoot this guard when he's not in the line of sight of the camera, but you want to destroy the camera, at least disable it, because I think if you disable it, you don't have enough time to get to the skylight. I'm not 100% on that. I always just shoot the camera just to be safe. Just remember that you can only shoot 2 cameras during this heist before the guards get alerted. So make sure you only shoot 2. The skylight approach is the only time I end up shooting 2 cameras. It's the one that I just showed you and the one before the door to get to the elevator. And then you'll get to the skylight, you'll see a cutscene, and then you'll drop down into the art gallery itself. This is where you're going to want to steal 2 paintings. It doesn't matter if they're upstairs, it doesn't matter if they're downstairs on the ground floor. Just make sure you take 2 paintings. They're worth around about 120k each, so with both of them you'll get around about 240. And then you'll want to go down to the vault itself. So depending on if you got the staff keycard or not, you'll either have to hack this little keypad or you'll just swipe your card. Then you'll go to the elevator, hack that, go down, and then just kill the guards. And then it'll be the same routine as previously mentioned. The third option is the alpha male disguise. This one's very straightforward. You get in the van, you drive to the security tunnel, you'll get let in, you drive all the way to the parking bay, and then if you want to, you can grab this crowbar here, you can grab the thing, the box thing in the truck. If you do, just make sure you kill this guard where I have in the video, make sure he's not in the line of sight of the camera, and then you'll need to grab the key card from the right of the van, swipe the card, straight into the vault, same ordeal as before. And the final one is the staff keycard. You want to park your car where we did before, do the jump up, kill the guy, go up the stairs, shoot the guard, shoot the camera, and instead of going up to the roof this time, you're going to want to follow where I go in the video. You want to go down the stairs, shoot this guard, and go through the door here. If you want to grab the paintings now, you can just do that, go to the left, make sure you don't get spotted by the camera or any of the guards, take 2 paintings and go down. However, I recommend just going straight to the elevator, hack the elevator, go down, follow procedure. Now that we have finally made it to the vault, we are going to be talking about the laser room, because I think this is hands down the hardest aspect of any heist in GTA Online. This is the only part of the Kortz Center heist that I still don't think I've 100% mastered. However, I have played through each of the 3 variations for this laser room, so I'm going to be giving you guys tips and tricks and also the gameplay of how to complete this. I would like to add on that the gameplay for the 3rd laser grid is not actually mine, it's from GTA Men on YouTube. I have played through this on my own, but I wasn't actually able to get the gameplay when I did play through it, and the past 24 hours, I must have replayed this heist about 8 different times and still not managed to get this variation again, so the gameplay is his. I highly recommend checking out his video on the laser grid, because he actually covers as well how to get this done in under 30 seconds, which is a platinum award. It's a very good video. I recommend going to watch it. So, the laser grid room works in thirds. There are 3 sections, and each section has a power box that you are going to want to be aiming to turn off. The background gameplay is the hard mode variations of the 3 laser rooms, and I know for 2 of the laser grid rooms, the difference is that there are aspects of the lasers that travel through the entire room, as opposed to just the 3rd that it kind of spawns in. It goes through the entire room. I know for the one where the laser travels along the floor, this one stays in the back third when you've turned off the first two. However, the one where you have the top-down lasers that go from the edges to the middle of the room, that one is always active across the entire room. The advice I'd give for these specific variations is once you've turned off a laser box, retreat back to the door, the safe area, and regain your bearings. Don't try and just do it all in the laser section at once. Now, on top of just following the path that I take in the video, some of the tips that I have for this section, number one, never use the jump. The jump is the clumsiest feature I've used in a video game ever. So just don't use it. Number two, go in first person because you have a lot better control over your character. The animations are a lot quicker. I do go out of first person when I use the crouch feature just so I know when to get back up. But yeah, first person is by far the way to go. Number three, when you start to see a laser sort of fade, like you will see in the background gameplay, you can actually run through it. So once you start to see it fade, you can actually start moving through the laser. And the final tip I have for the laser room, take your time. There's no time limit here. You won't alert the guards if you take like 20 minutes. The only time I get alerted is when I hit a laser. And it's very important that you don't alert the guards. And the reason that is that once you break the stealth during a run, you can't unalive yourself and regain the stealth. You have to restart the entire heist, which is by far the most frustrating aspect of the Kortz Center heist. So just take your time, focus on not breaking the stealth, and if you make it all the way through, even if it takes you 20 minutes, it would be quicker than restarting the entire heist. But once you've got past the laser grid, you're going to get to this hacking section here. Now, this is something that I think was in the Diamond Casino heist, I want to say. But depending on the difficulty, you're going to have to memorize either a 4x4 or a 5x5 grid. If you have a bad memory, you can scramble this segment with the AI, so it will keep your entries up until that point, but it will re-show you the pattern, so you can just put in the final two, for example. I'll demonstrate that in the video. If you're struggling with this section, take pictures, take videos with your phone. What I do is vocalize these. So for example, if it's a 4x4 grid, I'll see 1, 3, 2, 3. And then I'll enter that in by repeating it. That strategy has made this so much easier for me. I do this every time and I rarely use the AI scramble. But again, the AI scramble is there if you want to. You can always take a picture with your phone if you want to. Once you're inside the vault, just take the picture down, follow the instructions. You should have plenty of time, especially if you own, I believe it's an agency, a garment factory, or a terabyte. If you own any of those, you get extra time in here, which is great. I just recommend you don't take the paintings because they're worth less than the ones in the art gallery itself. Okay, so we've got the painting, and the exfil strategy is going to be the exact same regardless of the way you came in. You're just going to want to follow what I do in the video. Make sure you wipe the CCTV footage. Only kill the guards that you have to. Don't try and kill every single one. Don't get spotted by the cameras. Use your stun gun if you need to. Get to the elevator and go up to the ground floor. If you've got the staff keycard, you can exit the way you came in. However, I don't recommend it. What I would do instead is go to the art gallery floor and find the key. If you've already got the key, great. If not, you're going to have to go through every single guard on the gallery floor and kill them and see if they've got the key. I believe this is the only place this spawns. I'm not 100% certain on that, but at least one of the guards on the art gallery floor will have the key. So just keep killing them until you find it. If you can't find it, you could always use an explosive on the staff keycard entrance. But the problem with the explosive is that it does break your stealth, so just bear that in mind. It is worth mentioning as well that you can actually switch off the sweeping camera in the art gallery by shooting this button in the background gameplay here. This is a very helpful tip to know just in case you need it, but I don't do this very often because once I've escaped from the basement, I always switch off the cameras again. Obviously, this is after wiping the CCTV footage. I disable the cameras, go through the elevator, and by the time I get there, I'm usually out before the cameras switch back on. But just in case you can't do that and that camera is giving you trouble, you can switch it off via that button, once again in the background gameplay. Once you've found the key, there are 3 exits that you can take. You can take the upper floor, the ground floor, or the bottom floor. We're going to be going through the bottom floor. You need to kill this guard on the right, do the jump down that I do, or you can go down the stairs, but there's a camera there, and just exit through the doors. And then once you've exited, you're going to want to kill the guard on the left, stun the camera, do the jump that I do, and get on the bike. I've heard from people that there is a spawn of a guard in these bushes by the bike. I've not seen it yet, but apparently a guard can spawn it here, so I just want to warn you. Don't get caught out by that. And the strategy here is to stay on the mountains because the police cars won't go up the mountains. You'll just be wanting to avoid the helicopters. Make sure you drive away from the Kortz center itself because there is an area of effect around the Kortz center that will just keep your wanted level. So just drive away as far as possible, but you want to beeline it for the mountains using the path that I take in the video. Unfortunately, Rockstar are just the worst people in the world ever, and they've gone ahead and blocked off every single underground entrance or any underground area of the map. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to resort to the mountains. This is the best strategy that I found at the moment. Just hang out here, look out for police helicopters, look out for a rogue car spawn, which I don't think is possible. I've only ever seen helicopters go up here and maybe a car might drive up, but it should be pretty easy to avoid them. And it would just take time, and then just wait till you lose the police, drive to the drop-off, and that's about it. I'm not going to be covering the elite challenge in today's video. This is just the best strategy to rinse and repeat this heist once a week if you want to do that, because you do get a lot of money. But I believe the requirements for the elite challenge are accuracy. You need to get above a certain threshold. You can't lose a certain amount of money, so don't get shot, don't take damage. You need to get the buyer's request, and you need to do it within 15 minutes. If you follow the strategy that I've shown you today, you should consistently get under 15 minutes. Once you've got the strategy down, it's fairly easy to do that. The buyer's request is the only thing. If you want to do the elite challenge and get the buyer's request, you'll get a bonus 200k, 100k for the buyer's request, 100k for the elite challenge, which is probably like double the secondary targets. I personally, once again, will just always be grabbing 2 sets of artwork, grabbing the main target and leaving. That's the thing I'm going to be doing. If you're grinding for the tier 4 challenge, you're probably going to want to do the buyer's request every single time, so fair enough. I'm not going to be doing that, however, because I'm not insane. So that about covers it for my guide on the Kortz Center heist. If there's anything you're struggling with or anything else you want to know extra information on, leave a comment down below. Either somebody in the comment section or myself will get back to you and hopefully give you the help you need. But that's going to do it for today. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.